Hi everyone, my name's Alice. I'm a missionary, normally living in another country. Right now I'm back home in the UK. I just wanted to share with you my testimony of how I came to start covering my head for worship and prayer meetings and so on. I come from a very women strong family. Never grew up with in any kind of church. Even after I got saved, never grew up never was in any kind of church where there was a difference made between men and women. Women were just the same. We could do everything the men could do, and so on. And it's been a process for me to come to a different understanding, come to a better understanding of what the scriptures teach about the different roles that men and women have, and specifically in the case of head covering. For me, what happened was that I, for many years, sort of had a niggle about the particular passage of scripture in 1 Corinthians where we are specifically commanded to cover our heads, and always wondered why we weren't doing it, but I could never figure out how it could actually work in practice or what the value would be, and so I just left it. But then I did come to a place where I felt I really needed to look into it. I waited till I was on furlough. And I think one thing I just really want to encourage you to do, share with you, is to take your time. If you are looking into this, I believe that the current climate that we live in is very against this kind of teaching or theology, and you will probably come up against a lot of people who think differently, and you won't have that many people who think the same as you, so it's important to take your time. So I waited until my furlough, and I was very open about my investigation into this topic, which I think has also really helped me. I wrote emails to people, I wrote WhatsApp messages asking them, telling them, friends, house groups, even places that I go to speak. If they're my supporters, I wrote to them, asked them for their input. I asked them for emails, articles, videos. And finally, I also took a spiritual retreat, and I read, I think, all the articles on the head covering movement website. This had the advantage of not only exposing me to different viewpoints, which of course is really important. You need to have heard all the arguments on all sides, I believe, before you make your decision. But it also meant that it wasn't a solitary journey. I think if I had made it a solitary journey, then I would have had to stand my ground alone. But because I had consulted people, even though eventually I may have made a decision they didn't agree with, I didn't feel intimidated by them or alienated from them when I finally made my decision. I felt that they knew that I'd asked them their opinion. So that built bridges in my case, and I would encourage you to consider doing the same. A friend in the country I serve in almost immediately came to me and asked me why I was covering my head, and she said, "Oh, I've always wondered about that. I want to do the same thing." And for both of us, it was very important to speak to our leadership in our church. So in the church I attend, pastor absolutely didn't agree, but I said to him, "I'm willing not to do this if you don't want me. If you tell me I shouldn't do it, I will not do it." And he said, "I don't have the right to say that. You do as you feel led to do." And so that was the way we left it. And my friend, also, she went to her pastor's wife, whom she'd been in a Bible study with for many years, and asked for her permission, as it were, and said she wouldn't do it if the lady banned her from doing so. But in both cases, the leadership was happy for us to make our own choices. So there's much more I can say, but I'm going to stop here and just wish you all the very best as you search the scriptures and ask the Lord for his leading.